Today we are going to be painting our KM12. We are going to go with just simple red accents to the rifle, so like the selector switch, the trigger, the fake bolt release, mag release, and then the best part is going to be the outer barrel. So I just wanted to make a fun little video of me going step by step on how I go through this process. So let's get started. So I'm gonna start off with taking off the stock, and then we are going to take off all of these components. I'm also going to be upgrading the compression on this rifle because I have a dark earth variant of this KM12 and the compression on it was terrible stock. Like there was zero air seal. So I'm going to try to fix that on this rifle. So I'm going to open up the gearbox so I can also get to the trigger because I would like to paint that red as well. So yeah, we're going to start off with stock, and then we'll go to foregrip, and then we'll take off the other components. Okay, so now we have the buffer tube, stock, and sling point off the rifle. We have the pistol grip with the motor off as well. So now we are going to continue by taking the mag release off by unscrewing that mag release button. And then we'll take the fake bolt release off next, and then we'll take the gearbox off, and then then we can get to this selector switch, and then eventually when we open up the gearbox we'll get to the trigger. Gearbox is out of the lower receiver, so it's now time to take off bolt release. Oh, just like that, bolt release, and our selector switch. Alright, so selector switch is off. It's now time to open up our gearbox, retrieve the trigger to paint, and fix our compression. Now the great thing I forgot to mention about the KM12 is it has a quick spring change system in it. So all you need to do is find the right Allen key, and then you can take out the spring without worrying about it exploding in your face when you try to take apart the gearbox the normal way. So that's always convenient. Here we are, the gearbox is now open. The first time you open the gearbox, it's always going to be hard because they wrap the screws in this weird, I don't want to call it Teflon tape, but some sort of sealant, and it makes it super hard to take them off the first time. So like these screws are still in there because they're really tight. So now for the gearbox, you have your piston, cylinder head. The KM12s, I like their internals better than those G&G Raiders. I'm going to compare the KM12 versus the Raider in a video. I'm not sure if it's going to be after this one or before. But yeah, the one thing I noticed is that there's an O-ring in this air nozzle versus the Raider that doesn't have one. The cylinder head is made out of metal instead of polymer, on the Raider, of course. And I like these gearboxes versus those Raiders. Also because it has a quick spring chain system, which is always easier to work with compared to not having one. So the compression on the KM12s are absolutely terrible. As you can tell, that this cylinder head just slipped off the cylinder with no effort at all. When you work on compression, you want to have a double O-ring cylinder head because it seals air a lot better. So if I put this back on, like, it's very loose. Like, you want to have the cylinder head around about there when it's in your gearbox, but that's just there's no effort going. Like, I'm not using any force to even. It's way too loose, so that's obviously not going to seal any air, right? So you're going to lose a lot of compression there. As well as this O-ring. This O-ring needs to be. This O-ring can't just be flush with the piston head like that. It should be a little loose, so it could obviously seal air. Because if it's flush with the piston head, it's not doing anything at all. So if we were to pretend that this was in the gearbox and we were trying to test the compression, what you'd want to do is put your finger on the end of the cylinder head, take your piston, and just see if it seals any air. There's no air sealing at all. Like, there's no difference from me doing this and me covering the cylinder head. This piston is supposed to stop as soon as it goes to the end of that port, but it's not doing that at all. So that's obviously bad compression. And if you get 100%, after you get 100% compression with the piston, cylinder, and cylinder head, you want to check with the air nozzle as well to check if your compression is good there too. Because I remember when I used to work on compression, I would always forget the air nozzle, and I'll be losing air there, losing a lot of compression there too. So the best way to fix this kind of issue is you take out the O-ring from the piston head, and what you want to do is you want to wrap it around the cylinder. I learned this from another YouTuber called you know what, I don't remember the name of him yet. I'll probably put it in the description, but he showed, like, I just watched this video, and now I'm doing this to any gun I find has terrible compression. So you take the O-ring, you stretch it around the cylinder, and then you want to get a lighter. And you basically, you want to heat up this O-ring so it kind of stretches around the cylinder. So you want to heat up this O-ring, leave it for, you know what, if you're patient, just leave it for a day, or maybe if you're not patient, just heat it up a lot and then leave it for a couple hours. Don't just heat it up, take it off immediately and slap it back on. It just doesn't work that way. So yeah, just leave that leave that aside for a little bit. Now for the cylinder head, what you want to do is, since it's not tight in the cylinder, we want to wrap Teflon tape around the cylinder head till it's nice and tight, because otherwise you're going to be losing air. So just take regular Teflon tape like this. Then maybe you can grab, I'm going to go grab a towel paper. So you want to clean this off a bit. I like to take all the grease off the parts first, and then I'll grease them up later. So let's get this light back here. So you take your Teflon tape, basically you want to wrap it around the cylinder head till it fits nice and snug. You don't want Teflon tape to go over this little ridge, because it's not gonna sit properly in your gearbox. Kind of want everything to be at the O-ring and under. So probably test how that is. Right, so take your cylinder head, make sure your cylinder head goes on the right way. You don't want the port to be the closest to the cylinder head, because that'd be terrible. Like, your FPS would probably be 50. So port on the left side, so on the right, and then let's see. I think it could be a little tighter, but you get the idea. It's basically trial and error kind of thing. Alright, so after I stretch out the O-ring for the piston head, then we'll test the compression. If it's still not good enough, then we will either stretch the O-ring again or put more Teflon tape on the cylinder head. That's basically all you could really do. A cheap way to fix it, other than buying a double O-ring cylinder head, of course. So we'll figure. I'll come back to you then. Hey guys, so it's been about, I want to say, 18 hours since we stretched the O-ring around the cylinder. So now we are going to test out our compression from the piston to the cylinder head. So take your O-ring from the cylinder, put it back on the piston head, put your finger on, cover the cylinder head with your finger, and then let's test this out. Come on. Say that's pretty good. See, now it's like, it's not going any further than that. Whereas last time it'd go all the way, right? So now it stops about like, right about there. A couple centimeters after the port ends. So I'd say that's pretty good. So yeah, now we're going to go to the painting segment.
If I wasn't making music, I'd be in the trenches. If I didn't have no fans, my